Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Entrepreneur's Playbook, where we help 7 and 8-figure business owners ignite their financial superpowers. Josh Bowerly here with Ron Parisi. Ron, how you doing this week?
Josh, doing well. Looking forward to another podcast.
Yeah,
Man, the myth, the legend here.
well, I think we have an interesting one today because it hits on two topics that are close to us. And we want to talk about the big closing of 𝙑𝙤𝙖𝙤𝙤 Accounting Services. Where were you when you saw the news hit? Because I remember exactly where I was.
Oh, really? Now I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this again, just so the audience knows, so this is 𝙑𝙤𝙖𝙤𝙤.co. They were a Canadian bookkeeping company, probably been around for at least 7+ years, I would say. You probably started using them before I did.
Yeah.
With the relation, we had a small partnership with them for some of our smaller clients. But yeah, I guess I just heard in the trades that they went out. I think it caught people by surprise. I would say it caught me by surprise. So what are your thoughts about it?
Yeah, it's interesting from several perspectives, right? Number one, it goes to who are you paying to do these accounting services, and how confident are you that they're going to be there when you need them to be there? And
Yeah.
number two, what we talk about a lot is what pricing should be and why pricing matters, I think. And we don't know all the details of why they closed, but I think you and I would both agree that their prices were very low, relatively speaking. And is that model sustainable? I think this goes into that.
Yeah. Our experience, probably not a very good one we only had 2 clients on them with them, and the months would go on without the reconciliations, without anybody working on it, even though they were paying for monthly bookkeeping services. Like there was just no commitment to any kind of schedule about when the books would be closed. And maybe people have had different experiences, so I don't know, but I don't want to throw 𝙑𝙤𝙖𝙤𝙤 under the bus, but I think it's more important, like it's a bigger area, twofold. I think people throw around bookkeeping and they have a certain understanding of what bookkeeping is, but I think bookkeeping is basically, I'm going to get all your entries into your accounting software and I'm going to reconcile maybe your bank account. And that's where it ends. There's no strategy involved. There's no real business understanding, business communication about where your business is. And they're just, hey, here's your financials. And I think that from a value perspective, there's little value in that besides saying, hey, I got my books reconciled. But like you as the business owner is not getting any value out of that. Yeah, I think it was just a value. Were clients getting the value of what they were paying for would be my first guess. I don't really know, like you said, the inner workings. I know they were VC backed and things like that.
Yeah, it's an interesting model, and it's interesting in the discussion of what is bookkeeping, what accounting is, and what you should and shouldn't be paying for. But I think there is a clientele out there where they have a very small business. All they need is those reconciliations done so they can file their taxes at the end of the year. Like,
Yeah.
they're going to make $50,000 this year. They don't need CPA on Fire to analyze the numbers for them and go into all that. They need their taxes done. I think that type of model can work just fine for them. But even at that point, can those people stay profitable and stay in business only charging people $200 a month, $250 a month? Because it's still a labor intensive business, right? Going in and reconciling all those transactions. And if you're going to do it to maintain a $250 a month fee, you got to have thousands and thousands of clients, and those costs start adding up. And then is it still profitable? So I think there's a broader discussion of, from when we're talking about businesses and the decisions they make, this is a good lesson of, is it long-term profitable to be the lowest price option and make up for it in volume of clients? Because it can be tempting to do, especially early on. I think all of us went through that. I think we've talked about it. Like when you're getting in, you feel like you have to win on price. And in some ways that's true. When you're scratching and clawing to build a base and build a business, you got to get people in there somehow. And a lot of times that is competing on price. But to say sustain and actually build a very strong business that's giving the clients the value they need, I don't think you can compete long with that. And maybe 𝙑𝙤𝙖𝙤𝙤 did it longer than I even would have expected, but I think ultimately it came crashing down very suddenly. So.
No, it's interesting you say that. I agree. Like there are clients, or I'm sorry, there are business owners that probably, because there's other franchises out there that do bookkeeping. Even Intuit has their own like bookkeeping force. And if you have a side hustle, like you said, if you have a side hustle to your W-2 job, or you're just getting started and you have one revenue stream and you basically are by yourself with maybe 5 subscriptions, like that model works. But when you start having marketing costs and you have a team and you have consultants, and you have multiple revenue streams, just to get bookkeeping done, you're really, okay, maybe what your bottom line is, where you can also check your account, your bank account for that. Just to get anything meaningful out of your financial operations, you have to like elevate above the bookkeeping segment. And I think it's, my philosophy is like, when I talk to people who are customers of 𝙑𝙤𝙖𝙤𝙤, like we've been getting calls, is you got to think of a different way. You got to think about the forecasting model and really looking at your KPIs and your profit drivers of your organization and taking time to, really look at what's working, what's not in your business. And then we talk a lot about tax strategy, right? Making sure you have accurate financials. So you have your tax strategy, your tax planning, not being surprised at the end of the year. So there's a lot that goes into it. Most people like come in and they say, oh, I just need a bookkeeper. But I think the 𝙘𝙥𝙖𝙤𝙤𝙦 closing, it's rattled a lot of people, and people are looking around. Hey, what really was I getting for, I think they were a little more than $200 a month, but what was I getting for my monthly fee? And I would just challenge, right, as somebody who's been in this business a long time, has helped a lot of business owners, like, is your current model working?
Yeah.
First question, are you leaving money on the table? And what does that mean? That means, can your business be more profitable? Can you grow faster? Are you spending way too much time, right, on your financial operations, bookkeeping, making sure your bookkeeping's correct, not knowing the numbers? And then your tax planning, right? You're optimized as far as doing strategies and taking advantage of the tax laws for your own. As a business owner, you get a lot of opportunities to minimize your taxes, minimize your tax liability. So are you taking advantage of that? So,
Yeah, the analogy I'm thinking as we're talking through this is, I'm a big sports guy. And okay, so you think of a high school basketball team. They have usually it's like a stat girl, and she's back there behind the bench, and she's marking Jimmy scored 18 points and had 9 rebounds and shot 10 of 12. And Johnny scored 12 and had 6 assists and blah, blah, blah. And you get the basics, and you can get a little bit of information from that. You can say that Joey should be shooting more and Johnny should be shooting less and whatever. Then you get up to the NBA teams, and they're still taking those same basic numbers, but then they're getting real things that they can decide how to operate their franchise, right? Like the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to say, okay, when we shoot 23 or more threes, we win 73% of the time. And when we put this guy here and this guy over here, we score 0.73 points per possession. And they're going to sit there and adjust on the fly based on what's working and what's not working, because they're taking something that can be done so basic and turning it into real numbers that meaningfully impact their business, their team. I think that's the difference. I think someone like Bench they can serve a purpose. They can be that stat girl or stat boy that's sitting behind the high school bench and giving the very basic numbers, right? But if you want to have a truly outstanding business and is a business, and like you said, not a side hustle, then you need that that analytics like sports are obsessed with now. You need those analytics to know exactly what those numbers mean, and then delve deeper into those numbers beyond just how many points and how many rebounds do I have? How can I maximize every guy on this team? How can I maximize my roster? What adjustments can I make? Who do I need to get on and off the roster? So I don't know. That's the analogy.
It's great. Yeah, it's a great analogy. And then too, but what do you do with that data? Is like, how do you implement it? I think that's a lot of people can be fed that data, but like you need like somebody who's been through the trenches and kind of help you. Hey, if these numbers are showing you X, is there a corresponding, right? Okay, can we pull this lever and allow more growth, more profitability, right? Less hours for you, things like that. Like you ever think about, I just gave advice about one of my clients is doing very well, and she consistently hires like people right out of school. And I said, what about somebody with a little more experience, the true A player? And just think about how much more that person can allow you to buy your time back and you focus on, she's opening up another business. And so it's just those kind of like opportunities probably are not going to be presented when someone just gives you a P&L and a balance sheet 3 months after the month close.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. It's even if you have access to the advanced numbers, it's what are you going to do with them? And to go back to that analogy, the Cleveland Cavaliers are 36-7 and the Washington Wizards are 5-31, and they have access to the exact same information, right?
Sure.
One of them has successful GM and coach, and the other at this point does not. And I think a company like CPM Fire, that's how we like to see ourselves, right? Maybe we're your GM or your coach or whichever role you want to define it, but we're taking the same information that any other business has access to and helping you work through, this is what that means, and this is what adjustments we make based on that information.
I love that. Yeah, I think one is we compile the information, we analyze the information. The big thing for us, dashboard, let's not sort through a whole bunch of financials. We'll do some financial review, but like really dashboards, KPIs, allow the business owner really to see their business, how it's performing. And then the big piece, I think, is our secret sauce is, okay, what do we do with these numbers to affect your business to the positive? So
yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
Then I think the other thing, like we talked about, just to bring it back to the other point of it, is going beyond just bookkeeping and that side of this bench thing. It's looking at your own business. How does your pricing, is it sustainable? Are you running a sustainable model that maybe you're bringing people in because you're offering a super low price, but in 3 years, are you going to be going under because you have 1,000 clients and all of them are making $5 a client, right?
Yeah, super thin margins, or even on certain clients, maybe you're losing money.
Right.
People don't realize that, but yeah,
Yep.
there's a lot of ways to go about it. But hey, I think our time's up here, Josh. So I appreciate being together. Any last parting thoughts for 2025?
No, I just want to confess that the only reason I use that analogy was to talk about how great my Cleveland Cavaliers are.
I'm sure people in New York and I really have an opinion. So appreciate it. Anyway, great being with you, Josh. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for being with us. And again, you can find CPA on Fire, our team, on the website, www.cpaonfire. We'd love to have a conversation to see if we can help you optimize your financial operations for your business and take it to the next level. Appreciate it, Josh. Thanks now.
All right. See you next time.
Yep. Bye.